Okay, so you now own a flashlight smaller than a beer can that can put out 7,000 lumens. Whoa, big whoop. Plus your new headlamp cooks you breakfast and tells you to kill people. My point is that flashlight technology has gotten ridiculously bright, but yet you're still looking for another light. Am I right? Well, Lumintop has the next uber high-tech innovation in flashlight technology. Get ready for it. Copper! Wait, you're like, copper? How's that high tech? It sounds like a gimmick. Is that a new tint? Well, it's hard to argue with logic, although people on the internet often try. Check out the new copper flashlight from Lumintop, the Tool. You may be aware that Lumintop has already made a light called the Tool, but this one is really different because it's made out of copper. The Tool, which might be what you call your boss, is a tiny everyday carry light that is made from copper and is operated off of a single AAA battery and comes in two tints. The cool white version, which I have reviewed here, uses an XPG2 R5 emitter, which sounds like a Star Wars robot. And if you'll remember correctly, I made that joke a very long time ago. And the other version features a Nichia neutral white emitter, which should have a nice neutral white tint. I mean, I'll just have to imagine it because Lumintop sent me the cool white version for review. Anyway, so some other features are a coated glass lens, an orange peel reflector, although you can't eat it, a stainless steel clip for pocket carry, and a little clasp thingy in case you think your keychain is not heavy enough without this light. The light initially comes in a vacuum sealed bag that prevents oxidization of the shiny copper exterior. Of course, once you begin to use it, it'll be exposed to the elements like your saliva and begin to develop character or oxidize. The Copper Tool is a 3-mode flashlight with mode memory. You'll need to leave the light off for about 4 seconds if you want it to start on the same mode as you last had it on when it was on last. It features a reverse clicky switch. Press it once to turn it on and give it half presses to change modes. It goes from high, then mid, to low, and then back again. The Tool can only accept a AAA battery. I used Eneloops for my testing here because using standard alkaline batteries is dumb. Now, before you get mad, unless you're already really mad, let me qualify dumb, and I'm doing air quotes there. Standard alkalines often leak and will damage your flashlights. It's happened to me several times, so I only use rechargeable batteries. But another option would be lithium primaries that can handle hot and cold very well if you want a long shelf life and you keep it like in your glove box or, I don't know, wherever. But do not use rechargeable lithium-ion batteries, which is different than a lithium primary. The light is not meant to handle the higher voltages of those batteries. Okay, so how about some testing? The figures on the screen are my estimates using my DIY lumens measuring device. They should only be used as a basic reference and not the gold standard or copper standard. That means like a less than gold standard, right? Anyway, so let's test the modes starting on high. Then there's mid. And then there's low. On the screen you'll have noticed that my figures and Lumintops are both there. Okay, so here's the part where I test the run times, or the nap portion as some people call it. I set my camera to manual, I turn on the light, I let it run, and I sped up the footage. First is high mode. High loses a lot of its brightness around the 25-minute mark, and light stops coming out of it around 40 minutes. Next is medium mode. Medium runs steady for about 3 hours and 45 minutes before it really starts to drop off. Light stops coming out of it at around 4 hours. The boiler pilot light went out, so I had to turn on the light near the end of the run time test. So please don't be mad. Okay, now that the testing is over, how about a few beam shots between other smaller lights? Some higher output and some lower output to give you a frame of reference. You can see the orange peel reflector of the Lumintop gives it a nice smooth beam pattern. You'll also notice some of these small lights are brighter, and that's because they use lithium-ion batteries. The Lumintop is a good indoor or close range light. The lights are all set to their highest output levels per the rules of flashlight science. I chose these lights because they're all really tiny and mostly because Satan commanded me to. Anyway, I don't feel like the video is quite long enough, although you may beg to differ. Let's go over a few other things. It's rated to be drop resistant to 1.5 meters, so I threw it on the ground. I dropped it like it was hot. And it's water resistant to IPX8 standards, so it'll survive the eventual drop in the toilet. Cool, let's see, some final thoughts. It doesn't tail stand at all, and as far as I can tell, it's not because the light is drunk. I don't know, maybe that's a deal breaker for someone. My camera or eyes cannot detect any visible PWM on any mode, which I like because visible PWM is something that bugs me, and flashlights shouldn't have nowadays. PWM appears as a high-frequency strobing when you move the light quickly, and some people, like myself, not that I'm special, can see it. But yeah, none of that here. It's a tiny, classy-looking light that should develop character over time. If you want extreme brightness or a lower mode light, you may want to look elsewhere. The machining and fit and finish on mine is pretty perfect. No looseness or wiggling. I personally prefer the low mode to be right around 0.5 lumens, but that's my opinion. The light looks like it retails, if I'm doing my research correctly, for a steep $60, but you can probably find it quite a bit less if you look. I know I've seen it for quite a bit less. Lights machined out of solid copper ain't cheap, yo, is something my grandpa used to say. And if you believe that, and if you like this video, make sure you subscribe, comment on, and like my video. You know, unless you got better things to do. This light was provided for review and testing by Lumintop. Alright, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And as always, thanks to all the new and especially the OG subscribers for watching my videos.